Hey guys, how's it going? Man, that light sucks. Hold on a second. What a way to start a freaking live stream. Let me turn on the other light. I got another light here, so. There we go. We'll do that one instead. Whoa. Oh, that's better. Much better. Okay. Whew. Getting into me blankie. Because 3-year-olds need a blankie. There. I want to relax. Well, that's good. That's good enough. Alright. So how's it going? It is May. I was going to say April again. I'm looking at my... It's got the French thing. I don't know why because I'm Canadian, it switches the date around. It says 0305. I'm like, at first I'm going to say, no, it's not March, it's May. Let me put that up a tiny bit. Just a bit. I don't have a fixed spot for this camera. I don't use it that often. Oh my god, that's horrible. I know, it's ugly. Ah, good enough. A little bit more. Sorry, guys. I can't, you know, I'd have to test it ahead of time. That's better. Okay. Enough screwing around with the camera, and I'm not going to bother looking at it anymore. So, if I'm there, I'm there. If I'm not, I'm not. Maybe I'll keep it in there. I don't know. That's kind of stupid. Not for a live stream. So, it is, yeah, May 3rd, 2018, 9:27 p.m. Let me open up my chat window here, and if I can find it. Okay, so there, I don't know. There we go. Okay, so then I pop out the chat. Pop out chat, thank you. We are there. So that's for anybody who has questions or whatever. Do I have to minimize that still? Or can I close it? I think I can close it. Hopefully I can. Yes, I can. Awesome. That's what I want. Alright, I'll put it down here for now. Or something like that. Perfect. So, I had a lot of, well, I had a lot of support today, and I had a lot of interesting, I don't know what you call it. At times it bothered me. I guess it's my thin skin. Who knows? But I'm sure they'll, well, actually, I doubt they're that pathetic to actually have the notification icon. I doubt it. I doubt they're that pathetic to actually check my page, what, once an hour for their entertainment purposes? I doubt it. But let's basically I want to get all the crap out of the way. Quincy doesn't want me to go. Ah. I never said never. And no, I don't need people begging me to stay. The numbers are few, Quincy, and I'm going to prove that. People are right about numbers, but they kind of exaggerate it a little bit. But anyways, but let's deal with numbers, shall we? Let's deal with some numbers. I like numbers. This is what the Run 8 servers site looks like. It's not the be-all end-all of everything, but as you can see, we're down to 5 servers now. Scott, I know for a fact, and guys, I don't know if he's running. I thought he was down. I could be wrong. Maybe he's up. I don't think he's up right now. And Scott, I apologize for saying that, but you know, check out Scott anyway, see if he's up. I think I was on once. It wasn't for me, and Scott has been a very inspirational member with RTS, and he's done a lot of very, very timely, helpful things for me. So, you know, and last night, you guys saw the dispatcher screen. That was Scott's work, and he's done a lot of more. So I would, you know, show the love to Scott, and hopefully, you know, if Scott wants to do what I was doing and feels like he wants to give it a shot, go for it, man. I'll provide any save files. I'll provide whatever I can do to help. Because just because it ain't right for me doesn't mean somebody else can't do it. You know, Quincy, you were basically, you know, you were saying, you know, don't go. It ain't about me. Anybody can do this. I'm not doing anything special. All I'm doing is putting a server on. People can do this stuff. Anybody can do this stuff if they want to. The question is, how many people really want to? The answer to that, by the looks of things, is not many. And there's a reason for that, as far as I'm concerned. Well, I mean, you can believe in fate, you can believe that it's summer. I've heard so many excuses over the years as to why things are up and things are down at different times, etc. But you know, and obviously Run 8 has gone through a lot of issues. They certainly delivered with LA. I'm honestly, they delivered. LA is a fantastic group. I got nothing bad to say about LA at all. LA looks great. Even the decisions that they made as far as not including the LA sub or stuff like that, big deal. I mean, some of it I think was rushed together. You know, I would give it a 9 out of 10 maybe. But what am I? That's just an opinion. Who cares, right? What does that mean? But I enjoyed running it, and I plan on running it again. When I say I'm done with RTS, it doesn't mean I'm done. I asked my son tonight, before I said anything to him, I asked him, I said, so you still interested in doing Run 8? He said, yeah. I said, okay. I says, I just want you to know that I'm not running my server anymore. Unless something changes that wants me to get back into it. Or, you know, not that it's people want me. I don't need people to sign a petition or any crap like that. I mean, I'm not that narcissistic. Ugh, however you say that. But, no. It's not for me anymore. I should have gave up a long time ago when I it's kind of funny because unfortunately the predecessor, which was Southwest, I don't see Southwest on this list anywhere, and he was doing the California. And I'm wondering now. I know I'm only speculating because I don't know what's happened with Mike. I'm speculating, but I'm wondering if a lot had to do with the overwhelming amount of trying to please everybody, or trying to include every single route, and trying to include dispatchers and everything else, or if you can't beat them, join them, go to the depot or go to Highball or whatever. I thought one of these big servers actually quit not too long ago too, and then they came back or something. I thought it might have been Highball. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I don't know much about California and Western. Southeast is the former Florida server. They have a very, very small number, but whatever works for them. Their forum is not active. As far as that, don't mean anything. As far as I know, they should be fine. I guess they run 24/7. They still do stuff. They still move stuff. Their forum's not very active, so hopefully everything's okay. They're still on here, and you know, that's good to see. But this this site actually had about 12. This site actually had about a dozen different places, and what happens is people either tend to want to play single player, or play with their friends, or play with a group, and they don't want to deal with the hassle. They don't, you know, it's either they can't make it's so big they can't possibly do everything anyways, so they just give up. I don't know. Just kind of like what I did. I wasn't the first to give up, but anyways. Longest lasting. There was a big server that gave up a long time ago before me. So I guess I outlasted them. I don't know what they're up to. They don't care. Who cares? They don't care. They've gone on to do other things. Good for them. Don't blame them. You know. Got nothing but respect for Run 8. Honestly, I do. I know it comes off. Yeah, I'm starting to find out a lot of people. Okay, well, let me address this here. I'm happy with Run 8. You're not the only one. I know I'm not, because people have told me this privately within the past 24 hours, and I've also seen it on forum posts. Yeah. Ah. I appreciate it, Quincy, but I'm nothing special. I really am not. I don't think. I mean, if I inspire people, great. Apparently my RTS software inspired people. By the way, I never gave up on the RTS software. The versions changed. RTS software was still being developed and used. If you call not developing it for version 2 as quitting, okay. But there was a reason why I didn't develop, and that was I said I liked it how it worked with version 1, but by the time version 2 came along, it wasn't worth it, and a lot of people wanted it. So it's not a question of, oh, the dogs are going to start again. Playtime. Timing is horrible here. Because this is around the time of the night where they do their last walks. They do everything else. Tire them out, and by the time I'm going to bed, they're already in bed or whatever. But it's around this time every night. It never fails. It's like clockwork. Sometimes you get the howling going on. That I don't know what the hell that's about, but whoops, get me out of there. Let me get out of that thing. Okay. So there's somebody fighting 17 Chicago. I've given Run 8 a break for about a year now. Wow. I want to come back, but it's not as compelling as years past. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, it's the whole compelling thing. That's something that I'm getting at. Like, I guarantee you, I've never been one that has been responsible for preventing a sale, as far as I'm concerned. Although I've probably been accused of it. What's the metric to say, well, it's because Sean Merle shot his mouth off about Run 8 that they decided not to get it? Well, there's enough pro Run 8 videos out there, and as I'm saying this right now, I have nothing but respect for the guys. Take a look at Train Sim. Take a look at the post that still stands. I still stand. They are the best train simulator out there. And there is no competition for them. There really isn't. I don't care about the other ones. You know, you talk about Microsoft Train Simulator, Open Rails, Trains, Train Sim World. I mean, some are good for graphics, some are good for route development, some are good for model railroad-like simulation, I guess. But none of them simulate what a train is really like Run 8 does. They have that down, as far as I'm concerned, to a T. There's nothing about the physics, the way the train handles. There's absolutely nothing about it that is weak, in my opinion. So if you want to feel what it's like to be, you know, I got this rail driver here, still here. It ain't going away. It'll sit here for a while. It'll tempt me. It did in the winter for a little while. I kept it there. It's difficult to put that thing away because that thing has been with me for 6 years. I didn't get one for Microsoft Train Simulator. It wasn't worth it back then. I got it for Run 8. Run 8, as far as I'm concerned, you don't need it, but they say that about racing and everything. You know, having the steering wheel. It's night and day. If you don't have a rail driver, and I mean my horn is really worn out. I think Sanford sub worn that out. And I got nothing but respect for the guys too, especially the guys who also develop the routes. I got no problems with Brad and John. Brad's gone through some tough issues the last little bit. I don't know what John's up to. I haven't heard. You see, the thing is, I don't hear from John. I see. I haven't seen Mikey lately either. I don't know what he's up to. He used to watch the YouTube videos, and there was a time where it looked like I was heading towards doing the whole Selkirk. A lot of people, you know, they talk about the various attempts at trying different things. Trying different things and not being afraid to fail is an asset and a quality of a person. You name any person who's successful out there, they've all not been afraid to try. Now, I'm not saying I'm the epitome of success, you know, but if you think I'm done as far as accomplishing something, and if I die before I accomplish it and I'm, you know, I'm a failure or whatever, my kid's never going to look at me as a failure. Not that I know of. He don't look at me as a failure. He looks at me pretty respectful, I might say. At least right now. I mean, we'll see what happens when he, you know, gets into his teens, but right now he looks up to me. So that alone, I could care less what people think. I mean, yeah, do I have thin skin? Absolutely. But let's be honest about something. There's one thing about Brad and I that are very common. We both take our baby personally when our babies are criticized. Run 8's his baby. Run 8 is his baby, and you get critical of Run 8, you're on the bad list. And Quincy can probably talk or attest to that, I'm sure. Oh wow, I got lots of chat going on here. There's a couple people, but that's okay. Love the game, just missing something. Don't go out of your way. Yeah, and I'm still going to follow what Run 8's doing. You're damn right I'm going to follow what Run 8's doing. Because honestly, I would much rather be playing Run 8 than trying to develop something myself. It's much easier. And I don't have nowhere near the skills that these guys bring to the table. I have certain skills that I can bring to the table. Just like I went on Train Sim today, and of course the trolls followed me over there. What else is new? And a lot of people actually defended me, which I appreciate. There's people who have been stepping up and defending me, whether it be on my YouTube channel, or privately, just, saying, don't let these people bother you and all this stuff. They're not bothering me. It's entertainment now. It really is. Oh, I can indeed. I'm already probably in enough hot water to run a Quincy. Do not start that. No. I've been off their list for a while now, so I don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't had any phone calls. I haven't had any lawsuits, so that's good. Nah, I wouldn't get a lawsuit. I don't think so. There was a former server owner that threatened to sue me, though. I wonder if Quincy remembers that one. I've had some fun times, and I look back on it. I look back with good memories. I don't look back with, oh, I wasted 6 years. No, I didn't. I had fun 6 years. I found out what Run 8 was, the engine for me that gave RTS the concept life. And it's still there if I was to want to go to version 2. For all I know, I could be developing my concepts, my stuff, and Run 8 will expand and get into some of the things, or somebody else may come along. That name I shall not speak of. No, I'm not speaking of that name either. That name I could care less about. Long history. Yeah, Selkirk. The thing with Selkirk, and this is nothing personal about the guys who develop these routes. These guys who develop these routes, even Selkirk. Now, Selkirk uses a lot of assets from Florida and others, and California. Mikey is not. I take it he's not more of an asset guy. So he uses some of the assets, but I find Selkirk Mohawk to be, and I've said this on the get-go, it is the most beautiful route out there. And that's with all due respect to California, and as well as what Jason and Jim do. What Jason and Jim have is certainly well representative of what Florida is. I think it's just the scenery, and you have the Hudson River, you have the Mohawk River, you have the hills that are up there. It just really, the one screenshot I saw that really got me interested, and I was in between because both of those routes were being developed, and I was seeing screenshots. I remember these days. And it was so exciting. That's what's missing. Somebody said, what's missing? That's what's missing. That, I'm telling you, is what's missing. And I haven't been happy with the direction of where Run 8's going for a while. It's nothing personal with the guys at Run 8, and it's not to tear people and say, the direction that I've seen and the lack of communication, there's always been very quietness as far as information being passed along, and then sometimes they'll surprise you. There's fewer surprises now that come out from Run 8. We knew LA was coming. It easily exceeded expectations as far as I'm concerned. LA delivered. There's nothing there's no doubt about it. That's why for me it was easy to take what Ski was offering and say thanks. And I was excited about it. And my son got into it because all of a sudden he got into it because suddenly he liked LA. And I told my son, I said, we can still play together. Now he likes doing live streams and stuff like that. I said, Emmett, we don't have to do live streams. I says we could. But as far as the server, having a scheduled time and all that other stuff, it takes a lot to set a time aside and try to get people together and organize a session for so few. And the numbers were starting to get to me. And I have a theory on that, and I think that's because, for me, I'm okay with running a select area, but think about the person that has every route, like myself almost, or every piece of rolling stock almost. And there's no SD45s on my routes. There's no, I don't know what else. There's a few things that I don't have. I'm California, but I don't have anything outside of LA. Even when I was doing Mojave, I didn't even push to Barstow. I spawned some stuff. I think that's where a lot of it really, at first it's like, oh yeah, this is LA, but then now it's like, okay, well, the reason why I have LA is because it's connected to this and this and this. That's not the reason why I got LA. It wasn't about the connection. For many people it is. It's about the big network. The problem is the big network takes manpower. And people don't realize how stressful it is. All these wannabes out there that are, who don't want me to complain or whatever. It's like, bite me. It's like, here, take that. That's what I think of you guys. I mean, not you guys, not the guys who support me. Thank you guys. That's not to you. It's to the haters, or as my son calls, catfish. What the hell's a catfish? I don't know what it means. I've had some fun conversations today. He calls them catfish. It's something. It's like a slang for hater or something. I don't know what the hell it means. But so yeah, I mean, this post right here, this is, I'm hopeful version 2 will take a pass at point. But I'm losing interest in it quickly by the day. So there's one right there. Now, this post was an interesting one. It says regards Don, and that's okay. I'm not too... I don't think I think I did reply to it. Okay, yeah, I did reply to it. And I was a little bit angrier today. I was a little bit, I knew there would be some reactions, but... So, I'm going to read this post here. So, I've been watching your videos for the last 18 months. If you're still watching my videos and you don't like my whining, you got a problem. No offense. And if you're going to try to find something, well, obviously I've said I'm done, so you should be done too if you think that you're going to get something out of me in the future. I watch them for entertainment and for ideas that I can use on Train Simulator. Well, I'm glad. Then I guess I've helped, right? I've read your posts here and on Train Sim. Okay. My God, man, can you ever stop bitching? I could, but I don't need to be told to stop bitching by anybody. Because, no, dogs, I'm not bitching. Stop it. But, see, they're telling me to stop bitching. Dogs don't like me bitching. That's why they get upset at this time, because I'm always bitching, right? But, this is my channel. So, if you don't like what I'm providing, I mean, if you're watching TV and you don't like the person that's there because they're bitching, you change the channel. I don't have cable TV. If I'm watching a YouTube video and I don't like it, I don't hang around just to put that little thumbs down or post a comment of how lame they are. The only time I ever post comments that are negative are to replies of other people. See, we have another, not the main floor, but upstairs. There's another person that's moved in. So now they come in at around this time, and this is what's happening. And the dogs bark at anything, until they get to know you. They used to bark at me a little bit, but they don't bark at me as much. But They think everything's a stranger, you know, protective of their home or whatever. You got the alpha dog and the small dog. Anyways. So, but anyways, I'll continue with this. So my guy, man, can you ever stop bitching? All you do is whine like a mule because the program is not doing what you want it to do. True? All you do is whine like a mule because the program is not doing. I repeat myself quite a bit. I certainly do that, even though you were the one who made the inputs into the program. Okay. First of all, just because I made the inputs into the program doesn't mean I'm the issue, as he will say I am, because the inputs are useless. I shouldn't say they're useless. They're not 100% useless, but they don't play the true value that you would think. And if you've watched my videos and if you've learned anything from them, you would understand that when you have 100 some odd symbols, and you have the same train coming back to back, when you have 100 some odd symbols, I've seen it worse. I've seen it one time where 3 symbols went back to back to back when I had 200 some odd symbols, and it came out of man, these dogs are annoying as hell. I wish I had a place of my own. I really do. Just constant ditching. See, just like me, right? And they're the ones pitching. I'm just talking. I'm relaxing. I'm just chilling with you guys. It's 9:56. I got nothing better to do right now. That's why I'm bitching. And I'm not really bitching right now. So all you ever do is whine, blah, 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 blah. Even though you were the one who made the inputs into the program. Okay, I already mentioned that. You spent countless hours boring us to tears researching RTS for Selkirk. Why would you hang around if I was boring you? Like, only an idiot does that. No offense, Don. But why would you hang around? So you say, I've been watching your video. I watch them for entertainment. I guess that's entertaining for you because boring somebody's entertaining? That's totally contradictory. How I'm entertaining or I'm boring you? What is it? Even though you were the one who made the blah blah blah. Okay. Boring us to tears researching. Turn off the video. Turn me off right now if I'm boring you. Boring us to tears researching RTS for Selkirk, the A-line and Waycross, and when the bubblegum machine didn't do what you wanted it to do for each of these routes, you quit. Not too sure about that. A-line, see, that's wrong. And see, that's a total, and I didn't really think about it, but now that I'm looking at that, let's start with Selkirk. And here's the issue for Selkirk for me. Selkirk was rather boring. It has nothing to do with the route, the beauty of the route, or whatever. It was just rather boring. It was double track railroads. The HPT values were a little bit too high, which I have no control over. That's how they're set up, and it was very difficult to have any trains take over because the HPT levels were not low enough, even at the lowest level, to allow the overtakes of the Amtraks or whatever. So you really had what amounted to a double track main line that had the potential of takeovers, but really ended up being a conveyor belt. So it was very easy to dispatch. It was hardly challenging at all. We had one person on there, regular. He liked running the locals, so I ended up doing a lot of the dispatching, blah, blah, blah. It was boring. And I've heard this from others too. And it's no offense to Mikey. It has nothing to do with Mikey. I mean, he could have tweaked a few things in it. And he took a lot of the recommendations from me in that. So Mikey's a good guy. It has nothing to do with him. Sometimes a route is boring, and this is double track main lines can be boring. And if you get the scenery, it's not too bad. Some people say Needles is boring. Actually, Needles can be quite exciting. But not everybody runs Needles like the way the prototype is. We have, and I'm saying we, I'm talking about California, the Southwest server. The A-Line and Waycross and the bubblegum machine didn't do what you wanted for each of these routes. No. Well, maybe, yeah, okay, maybe it didn't do what I wanted, but here's the thing. The reason why I gave up Waycross was because, one, I loved humping, but I wanted to do other things. And because the numbers were low, I feared that I was going to be trapped in the hump all the time. It's a little bit different in LA, because when you're in LA and you're dealing with the challenge of the yard, at first it didn't seem like it was going to be an issue, but then it became an issue. It became more of an issue because probably I could have backed off on the tweaks a little bit, or I could have backed off on some of the volume just a bit, because I was treating everything as daily. So yeah, I could have brought back the inputs a little bit to relieve some of the stress. And it wasn't so much the stress, it was still, that was the values. It had nothing to do with Waycross. Waycross, really, I didn't pay too much attention to the symbols too much. It was all about, and it certainly wasn't actually there was two things. It was the hump. At the time there was a bug in Run 8 where things would explode. They fixed that bug. They fix a lot of their bugs. They're good at that. If there's a known bug, they will fix it. The problem is the random number generator has never been considered a bug. You look anywhere. Is anybody complaining about the random number generator? Nope. I'm the only one that complains about it. Why? Because I seem to be the only one that sees it. Sorry to say that. That's why I repeat that a lot. I don't repeat it because I get the word out there. And it's like shouting on deaf ears, but that's okay. I'm a programmer. I'm not saying I'm better or whatever. I'm certainly not better in graphics. I'm certainly not better in networks or anything like that. I can do probably 5% of what these guys have done with Run 8. But when it comes to random numbers, data, more business side programming, more old school programming, and I've programmed in machine code, so I know how the machines work. Not just how to turn on a computer and how to put a hard drive and all that. I know how the machines work. A random number generator, all it does is pull from the system clock. If you pull from the system clock, you do it once, you're going to get a random number. You do it in the sequence, which means the program follows step by step by step. You have this much space in between each sequence. A program is going to run at the same speed, for the most part, fairly consistent, depending upon the processor or your computer. I've also seen it with hotbox detectors. I've seen certain computers, certain people get the detectors more than others. It's really weird. That one I can't explain, but that's not a big deal for me. It's just, it is what it is. But all of that has to do with random number generating and seeding. The random number generator is not properly seeded. That's why you're seeing the repeat symbols. Nobody has offered that condition because nobody sees it. And as I was saying, if it was really tested, if LA was really tested for operations, and I don't think it was, which is okay, they did a good job at getting the industry set up. And by the way, the industries is their numbers, not mine. The industries I used their I didn't change their configurations. I used what data they had. The only thing I changed was the scheduling, and the scheduling and the value had nothing to do with it. In fact, it was calling the duplicates, as I said, on the San Diego. San Diego was one of the lowest values out there, so why would it call a duplicate on San Diego when there was so much more probability higher to call from other ones? It didn't make sense. So no. And the data, I did the calculations, it was fine. The likelihood and the odds of what happened and what I saw. The other one was the passenger trains. There was 2 passenger trains that repeat each other. I have tons of symbols in there, not to mention all the freights. The random number generator is screwed. And what really, I was already a little dismayed about the lack of numbers. I was kind of dismayed, like, why am I putting a server on when there's not that many people on there? And just because I like doing it a certain way, do I really need the people? Do I really need the clients to do what I'm doing? Or, you know, I honestly got to that point, and it's no offense to the people who enjoy running with me or want to or are looking to me for a server. I get it. I totally get it. I understand Quincy. And whoops, hello. Give me that. Whoa, lots of chats. Oh, Bill's on. Hey, Bill. Manageable. I work Wednesdays and last Sunday. My provider and the line down. Yeah, that's no problem, Bill. I know there's at least, there could be up to half a dozen people. Yeah, that's okay. Quincy knows what catfish is. I don't. What is it? What's the catfish thing? I still don't know. I didn't really ask my son. I just thought it was some silly thing that the kids do. They are a lot calmer than they were last night during the steam. It sounds like all hell broke loose. What? I think I had the same train spun out of the corridor 405 trains this morning. Well, I don't know how many numbers you have, Bill, but I got quite a few. Especially coming out of the corridor, actually. The corridor, the numbers are pretty good. The other place is not... Well, actually, the corridor... Dago, yeah... For a lurker that will take pain and run with and start... Okay. Kids. Yes. Okay. So anyways, I haven't even finished this post yet. So what do I... Then I came to realize you have the attention span of a 3-year-old. Oh, there we go. There's the mudslinging. So I got the attention span of a 3-year-old. Yeah, I guess I have the attention span of a 3-year-old because I went in between. So I guess 3-year-olds are like that. Yeah. Did you ever think that maybe I have a mental condition? Maybe I do. I'm on medication. I take medication for seizures. I don't consider myself a disability. I haven't quit a job in 2 years. I plan on working there for the rest of my life. I've quit a lot of jobs. Why am I not quitting my job? Because I like it. Ooh. That's kind of cool, huh? I like my job, so I don't want to quit. See, people who settle are losers. I hope that eats in with the people that, you know, he's already quitting. No, that's because I would have settled. If I was to continue to do what the hell I was doing, I would be settling. Why should anybody settle? Winners do not settle. Okay? Losers do. Now, sometimes you have to settle to keep the peace, or sometimes you're in a relationship or a marriage or something. Sometimes you have to settle. Sometimes when kids are involved, you have to settle. I can tell you right now, I never quit my marriage. I won't say any more about that, but I honored my vows 100%. And I'm not saying I was perfect, but I honored my vows. So I never quit the marriage. It wasn't me. Just saying. I never quit on my son. I never quit on RTS either. RTS is still RTS. I quit the server for Run 8. There's a difference. Just because, you know, RTS server may be gone. Will it come back sometime? I don't know. Maybe. But, like I said, the attention of the 3 years old, because I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to react to some of these things. So, let's see here. I've watched all of your LA videos. And for a while, I honestly thought you were making instructional videos on how not to switch a yard. How not to switch. On how not to switch a yard. I don't know what that means, but anyways. Oh, then you have the 3-year-old, and it seems a temper to match. Hmm? I have a temper? Not according to my son, I do. I mean, I can get heated. I can. Do I sound like I have a temper right now? Eh. Do I have an attitude? Do I stick to my guns? You're damn right I do. Am I perfect? Nope. Not at all. Neither are you, Don. Did you ever think to keep a pad of paper and pencil by your keyboard so you can jot down a note as to what was on what track? Why do I need that? You constantly miss signals and then wonder why a train is not moving. You constantly miss signals and then wonder why a train is not moving. Wow. Because I'm doing more than dispatching? Maybe I'm taking on too much stuff. Maybe, just maybe, it was too much for me. So maybe that's why I quit. So I couldn't do what I was hoping to do or hoping to accomplish. I didn't sign a contract with anybody. I didn't offer a paid service. Yeah, I think I put a link out there one time about donations. I never got any. It's no big deal. Good for them. Save their money. And if they did now or in the future, so be it. I mean, I'd appreciate it. I think I've done a lot for the community. Didn't I help you? At least that's what you said at the beginning. Which, well, you know. If I were you, I'd take a good long look in the mirror because the problem is not the sim. The problem is you. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. It can't be the sim. The sim's perfect. Right? The sim's absolutely perfect. If you think the sim is perfect, just because I say it's the best simulator out there, it's not perfect. And nobody is perfect, including me. So, am I flawed? Do I have my weaknesses? Absolutely. So, what else is going on? I think I replied to that there, but I don't need to go through the rest of that crap. What is it, 10:13? Wow, time flies when you're having fun. And I am having fun doing this. I love stroking my ego. I'm a narcissist, right? I mean, I barely have any friends, except online, which is kind of ridiculous. I've tried. I'm not a people person, but amazingly, I like to reach out to people far and wide because, you know, I guess that's what I like to do. I don't know. Whatever. It's entertainment. Also known as hater. Yeah. Look at the last two comments in the chat and you will see where his comments originated from. Okay. Whose comments? I'm not sure what you mean, Quincy. I know I can look back at it, but honestly, I don't feel like looking back at it. It was depressing enough. I mean, I could, but nah. I'm already rehashing a lot of this crap. But I do wanna do something, because you got this Camel Toe guy. I think his name's Camel Toe. I think. Is it Camel Toe? Camel Toe. Camel something. Camel Tanker. Camel Tanker. That's it. That was Camel Toe. Because he seemed like a real pussy to me. But anyways. I'm sorry. I cracked myself up. I couldn't resist. I can call him Catfish Camel Toe. I don't know. I mean, that's a 3-year-old joke, right? Or 10-year-old. My son would probably like that. Shut up, dog. Oh, he did. No, see, the dog didn't like that. Pissing off the dog again. Why are you making dogs cry? So I go into last night's video. I may do that, even though I said I wasn't going to. I'll see somebody else is here. That's why. It's a zoo. See, I thumbs up my video because it was down to 1, so I was trying to catch up to the 3 thumbs down. Oh, Camel Toe, yes. It is Camel Toe. Camel Tanker. He didn't reply to me. Thanks, Bruce, for the, I love that one. Is this how you get your jollies? Oh, man. Oh, yeah, see, I'm calling them Camel Toe. Maybe your 3 subscribers can teach you how to upload a YouTube. You gotta check the comments out on these videos. This is hilarious. It's fun when after they get posted. And then this I did first thing this morning. Like I said, I didn't sleep too well last night. I don't think it was on my mind or anything. Maybe subconsciously. I'm wide awake right now though, so that's good. So Camel Tanker. Let's see. Does he have 4 subscribers? Come on, guys. Give him some subscribe. Give Camel Toe some love. I can help make him. I can make him famous. So we're going to, what do I see here about Camel Toe? Oh, he's got a Google Plus account, and he joined. He joined what, when he was old enough to get a YouTube account? I don't know what that is, but anyways, until 2015. Okay, so he's been there, what, 3 years? A little over 3, 16, 17, yeah, I can count. Hey, 3-year-old. Oh, sorry, I'm getting confused. 3. Like I said, so what is Camel Toe like? Camel Toe is subscribed to me? He loves me. What else is he subscribed? CSX 2057? Good. He likes Colonel Failure. I'm subscribed to Colonel Failure too. Awesome. That's awesome. Look at that there. 24,000. I think somebody said I had like 10 subscribers or something like that. Like, not quite 400. I'd have to get to 1,000 before I'm eligible. This guy's close to getting 1,000, then he can start getting paid. So help these guys out. Give them subscribe. I don't care about myself. I ain't gonna Train Sim USA. Don't know them, but that's okay. I'm not the only person I'm subscribed here. Am I subscribed to him? I don't know. I am Colonel Failure. There he is. See, Colonel Failure is fun. I like him. And he likes some of the train games too, but he's more into the I don't know what it is. Transport Fever, or yeah, Transport Fever, is that the one? I think that's the latest one. Transport Fever. Yeah, I was into that for a while, but I quit that too. I quit a lot of things. It's amazing how many. But then there's games that I still like. I mean, Camel Taker. Oh, Camel Taker and Don is the same person. Oh, okay. Camel Toe. Or Camel Tanker, I'm sorry. Whose comments? Okay. So I mean, he was watching me live last night. What is he? What does he got? The little notification icon? I'm his. I mean, what does he do? Does he get off to? Does he get off to my whining? I don't get it. Oh, okay, well, that's cool. I don't know, but I honestly I don't watch that much YouTube. I watch the only live stream that I've ever watched used to be I used to watch, actually my son and I used to watch a guy by the name of Game Edged, and he runs over on the highball servers. Oh, so what? Well, I don't know what about the highball servers, so. Okay, well, maybe I should see this. You've got me a little curious, anyways. I am curious. So let me go back. Sorry, should I subscribe to him? Should I give him some? No, forget it. He doesn't. I got enough subscribers. Thanks, anyways. He just doesn't. He just doesn't have enough content to really appetize me. I'm sorry. I can give him my save file if that help make him happy, and then he can continue on my failed legacy. Show people how it's done, buddy. You can do it. I know you can. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you can't masturbate to my videos anymore. I'm really sorry. I mean, I know you like seeing the choo-choos. You know what I mean? Choo-choo, choo-choo. You know, so that's childish. I'll admit that's childish. Choo-choo. You know, some people like choo-choos, right? Whatever gets you turned on, it's okay. Choo-choo. Okay, let me see what was said. Hopefully I'm entertaining some of you guys tonight. I really hope, if anything, if I'm entertaining, and whether you love me or hate me or like me or whatever, I appreciate you being here. Again, I don't make any money off of this stuff. I'm just doing this for the hell of it. You know, if I can keep entertaining my base, I do have some positive things to talk about, but we're getting low on time, so... So I'm gonna just bitch. Let me close this up. I'll close this one up too. I've seen enough of that for tonight. Let me go into my own video here from last night if I wasn't there. Anyway, let me get a camel toes. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. So this is oh, I gotta. Ah, crap! I can't show the, or can I? I can't. How can I show the comments if I already have comments on? Can I do it? I don't know if I can do it. I mean, I guess I'm computer illiterate or something, but I don't see where the... Oh no, that's from this morning. Hold on a second here. So I gotta go to this one. Oh, there's the internal error, whatever the hell that means. That I had a hard time looking at that screen. It's Scott's, but let me just refresh this one more time. Oh, there it is. Ooh. Okay. So let's go. Honestly, I don't get to look. I keep the chat open. You whine like a mule. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't check the comments very often. I check the comments on the thing, but so not much I'm missing there, really, to be honest. So that's cool. Entries. Oh, so that's interesting. So yeah. Okay, so I don't have, at least in that case, it's just one hater or troll or camel toe. Camel toe Bob is his name. I can't remember his name. No, camel toe Don. I'm sorry. That was from Wednesday's session. Yeah. Yeah, we're on Thursday, coming on to Friday. Yeah, got it. Yep. Camel toe Bob. I can't. Don. I can't believe I'm spending way too much time on camel toe. I gotta get out. Yeah. I'm sorry. This is just funny. And I don't think camel toe is. Well, no, camel toe will be watching me tonight. Maybe he's not watching right now because camel toe. If you got, I mean, you got your little notification icon and you were joining the live stream. Why don't you come? Why don't you come? Show us what you got. Show us why they call you camel toe. I mean, I don't know. I'm right here. I don't mind a debate. I'm not whining right now. I don't think I am. I don't want to whine. Ah, crap. I shouldn't have done that. Hold on a second here. I can never open another Google Chrome once I close it or something. Oh, man. Did I screw up the damn chat because I... Okay, oh, wait. Okay, here we go. Ah, there we go. Alright, so... Let's see what's going on Train Sim, and then I'll get to the positive stuff. Let's see. What do we got? Yeah, nobody's sending me emails to tell me what a loser I am or anything like that. Train Sim World's doing it. So you talk about bitching. Go to Train Sim World. Lots of bitching going on there. I mean, they just keep bitching and bitching and bitching, and hey, guess what? They got the right, and if I don't want to watch the bitching, I stop following, just like I have. And they got a right to. I've been on there. Somebody speaking a different language, and somebody took the time to reply. I didn't bother, but... Okay, anyways, that's nice. Blah. Yeah, I'm the last post in there. So what had happened is there's this where'd it go? Oh yeah. So see, I changed this. RTS under construction. Doesn't mean it's gone, just under construction. Best of luck. Hope you don't quit this one too. See, so there's yeah, I mean, he just cannot resist. He's from Kansas City. Well, that's nice. And he joined before then, so he likes his choo-choos. And he's older than 3. Okay, so we know he's... Well, that don't mean nothing. This could be a lie, too. But anyways, he's posted 87 times. I wonder what his posts are like. Yeah. Fine then, I won't write this. I won't write in the third person after watching you quit Barstow, quit Selk. Yeah, we've heard this over and over. Quit the A line, quit way across. You talk about me repeating stuff? Why are you talking about this in Oh, I'm sorry. No, I asked him to. From Mojave to LA, only to quit again. I didn't bet on you to fail. I only bet on when you would quit. Oh, I'm sorry. I said it would probably be a month before you'd quit LA. To who? To your buddies over on some other server? So you're the bookie. He's the bookie. Camel Toe's the bookie over on somebody's server. And they, I don't know what they bet. Did they bet tokens? Bitcoins? Cigarettes? I don't know. Does he smoke? I don't smoke. Well, I'm happy to say I won the bet. Congratulations, Camel Toe. Everybody give a cheer to Camel Toe. He won the bet. Good for him. I'm sure that if you took a poll, of the tens of viewers on your channel, they would tell you the same. It's not the game, it's you, Sean. Well, I don't need to take a poll. People can tell me that, can say whatever they want, both on my channel. They can say it on my forum. I didn't delete any posts. Nothing derogatory. It's just a hater. And Tim replied, and then, you know, I just ignored him after this. After that point, I think I did anyways. I just told him best of luck with his project. I didn't PM him, private message him. He's not ready for car forwarding, and I would rather go my own way right now and do my own thing, which will lead me to what I'm getting into. I haven't read all this thread, but it looks interesting enough. But honestly, I'd rather do my own thing. I just kind of put it out there just to see what he was interested in. He'd never heard of RTS. I don't take offense to that. He hasn't do much of Run 8, hadn't heard of RTS. That's okay. But as far as my what is it? He said tens of viewers. Tens of viewers. Let's see. Where am I at? Well, watch time still there. View. Oh, subscribers +6. Oh, did that change? Oh, shoot, I shouldn't have gone to that. Look at that. I lost 4, but I gained 10. My subscribers keep going up. In fact, because my videos are still on there, there's your estimated revenue. See that, guys? Just so you know, I'm not doing it for the money. No activity because, see, lifetime activity. How about this? Did I make any money? Really? When did that happen? You mean I can cash in on that? Holy crap. I made some money at some point? I thought they took that away. Wow. Look at that, I made 52 cents on one video. That's awesome. So I've made wow, that's almost a lunch. That's pretty cool. I'm not cashing it in. At least not right now, I'm not. They made a new rule back when I started monetizing the channel, and this was probably what happened. I monetized the channel about 2 months ago or something, and then I took it out and just said, you know, forget it. It ain't worth it because you need 1,000 subscribers now to get the monetization. Yeah. Okay. Where's my? I gotta see my. Hold on. Video manager. Let's go to the video manager for a second, and then I gotta move on and forward or whatever the heck it is. So I think he said tens of views. Is this what's a 10? I guess 70. I guess that is to 100. I don't know what that means exactly, but yeah, whatever. 400 subscribers, 91 views down here. I got my private ones. You know, what doesn't get views is non-train stuff. I've learned that the hard way. Well, not the hard way. You just try something, and if it doesn't stick, you learn from your lessons and you move on. Kind of just what I did, right? So where do we go with it from here? I am looking at Unity. I don't even know if I have Unity yet, but I'm gonna go ahead with Unity. That ain't gonna get it. Or is it Unity 3D? And I know some people are gonna say, go, you know, Unreal 4. Just like that post was saying, and I don't think I have Unity, but I'm not gonna get it right now anyways. If you look at Made with Unity, you can see Oh, this is going to show you the... I want to see screenshots. Well, there is some in there. Drones in there. That's not what I want to see. I don't want to see the box titles. I want to see, you know, I'm not a graphic artist, and I don't plan on being one. I was hoping to see something else, but I don't see it. And more artist tooling. Yeah, okay. Well, that's cool. So I would do personal for until I, you know, get my stuff going. But it's not about the graphics, art and design tools. Not interesting. Graphic rendering, engine performance. Multiplayer is nice, especially when you have something that is able to handle it. Monetization, advertising. Monetization is cool to have when I'm ready for it, but I need to basically start creating something before I can get into it. So I'm personally looking at using, as opposed to just basic, switching over to Unity, or at least giving it a try. And it's not going to be, it's going to be one of those things I do on a rainy day or the day I used to run sessions. And I'll take you along with it. That's not a problem. I don't mind sharing what the road plan is ahead. So let's get out of this whole thing here. And like I said, you know, this isn't about if I was quitting, I took my ball and ran home and never came back, or didn't do something. You know, it would be like, for example, I was doing a little bit of graphic in Unreal 4 a while back. I had some ideas with a tower thingy, whatever the heck it was. Unity is a lot easier, and honestly, Quincy, that's exactly what I need. The graphics are not as good, but here's one thing, and I want to mention Run 8, and I'm going to mention Run 8 a lot, because for me, Run 8 is the standard bearer. And what I've learned from the last 6 years of Run 8 is going to determine basically what I, you know, like or don't like. I'm going to basically, it has nothing to do with non-disclosure, it has to do with public knowledge. I'm only going to take what I find is really cool about Run 8, but really there's not going to be much, because I don't think I'll get that far. It's going to go in a totally different direction. So where does that direction take me? And these are too small, so let me get the font up here and lay out the game plan. Just you know, it's nice to have it here so you guys, you know, understand where everything is going. Hopefully you guys can, yeah, you should be able to see it. I can see it from here, so I imagine you guys can see that okay. So the thing about RTS being Railroad Transportation Simulator, that name is sticking. It was a concept well before Run 8. It will continue to live on. And they have, Run 8 has set it so high. It was so high it scared the DTG Matt. I'm not too sure. Who's Matt Pedalston? I know Dovetail. I think oh, Dovetail. It's or wait, what am I thinking? Oh yeah, Dovetail. Okay, never mind. Yeah. But then you had the ones I mean, you talk about quitters. You talk about people who had a lot of, you know, money involved and was actually into it. So it's like, oh, okay. The name didn't sound familiar. But a lot of people who have a lot of money into these things, and then they had backers, or they had big studios, or they had all kinds of stuff, and even the big boys, even, you know, whether it be Dovetail, whatever, the ones like I look at you know, when I saw the I don't know why it's not coming to me right now, the CSX thingamajig. What's the name of that damn simulator? I'm starting to forget about it now. Not Cross Ties. Cross Ties was kind of blew up too. Well, Cross Ties blew up. Maybe I was thinking of Cross Ties. That thing just blew up. You know, and a lot of people went all in on Cross Ties and looked like fools on the other side and came crawling back to Run 8. I know of a lot of people who did that, who could, you know, and who bitched, whined, and complained and moaned far worse than I ever have. I can guarantee you that. Train Sim World, that's the other one. Yes. Yeah, Train Sim World is... I wasn't too sure what to think of Cross Ties. But it was certainly ripe. Run 8 is very ripe for competition, but it's a niche. It's a micro niche in a niche, because not everybody cares. First of all, they don't have the editors, which is another thing. And I've laid out really what's going to get me to purchase Run 8 version 3. And believe me, it's still a possibility. And I'll purchase any train simulator that I think is worthy of my money. But what's going to make me want to purchase Run 8.3 is the editors. Maybe a route or whatever that is maybe a class 1 that's not as big, that, you know, might be easier for me to spawn trains into. Because then, if that's the case, then I don't have to worry about trying to simulate as if it's a you know, a big traffic area, because it doesn't look right in double triple track to be running one train a day, or, you know, or not one train a day, like 10 trains a day, let's say. There's places in the world, like right around here, that run two to 4 trains a day, or, you know, a dozen if you count 2 railroads. CP runs a little bit more now. It used to be the other way around, but CN runs these monster 10,000 foot trains in and out of Niagara, up and down the escarpment. So oh, hi Tim, you missed all the fun, Tim. So yeah, go, you might want to go back and watch the video earlier. I was really having some fun at least I guess it looks like one person's expense, because apparently it was just one person who likes attention almost as much as I do, apparently. But anyways, let's move on here, because I got the attention span of a 3-year-old, and I have thin skin, and, you know, I'm scared of my own shell, and I'm a loser, and I'm a quitter, and blah 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 blah. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on. Stop thinking of camel toe. You can do it. You can do it. Help me, guys. Everybody help me. Stop thinking of camel toe. I know there's probably only 2 viewers here. 3. I don't know. I heard a little. Yeah, you didn't miss much then. If you heard it, yeah, that's probably good enough. But let's see here. Because it hasn't been that visual at its moment. And it won't be visual. It never usually is, unless I'm playing with the choo-choos. And some people like me better when I play with the choo-choos, and when I stop playing, they get mad and throw their toys around. Okay, stop it. See, that's the immaturity of me, because I keep on digging it in. It's bad. It's a bad habit. I shouldn't care about these things, but I do. You're all right, Sean. Oh, thank you. You too. Here's Ajay. Okay, so anyways, so you got RTS, and really it was a concept long before Run 8. In fact, somewhere over in that mess over there, I have the original plans that I had for Run 8. And what Run 8 was going to be was, sorry, sometimes I say RTS and Run 8 and I mix the two up, and that's bad. It was a concept before Run 8. What RTS was, and the plans for RTS, was supposed to be very similar to what Run 8 became. And actually Run 8 was introduced to me by Dale, who was a former member of the beta team and consultant as well, who's no longer with them, but I believe he's still into Run 8 and does whatever or whatever. I haven't heard too much of him. He's actually a moderator over at TrainSim. Me and him have had our differences, and we've also talked on the phone. So we've had our differences. We don't always agree with things, but for the most part, I think we've gotten over. Actually, I got really ticked off at him and got into trouble with Nell with TrainSim, because I basically went after him, and he's an okay guy. It's not easy to be a moderator, so I should have, but I got a little personal, but to say the least. And there's a lot of people that were backing up Run 8, and I mean, but anyways, so before Run 8, there was the concept. I did the designs. I did everything as far as the file structures, how the fields relate. I do not like coding. This is why, if looking at Unity, less coding, easier development is going to be the plus. So going into Unity will, despite the fact that my expertise is in just basic, or basic I should say, and even machine code, because I know that, I can really adapt to anything, especially something that is token driven as opposed to more machine driven like C. I'm okay with the machine code. What happens with C is they use methods, and methods is something that my brain has a hard time dealing with. It takes a lot of memory. Memory is bad with me, especially with the medication that I'm on. So it affects my memory, and it's a lot more difficult to concentrate on what's going on. So that could be why I also go, attention spans or whatever, or missed signals, or who knows what else I'm accused of. But I mean, I know Scott used to think I was one of the best dispatchers in Run 8, but that's what he's told me. So yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things. Everybody's got an opinion. So Unity. So what's going to happen is there's a few ways of going about doing this. RTS in its beta was basically a car forwarding system developed for Run 8. Run 8 was the vehicle. RTS beta was basically the system. What is different about how Run 8 does their things is is it's not just not just random numbers, but keeps track of calling waybills. And that's a concept, if you're familiar with model railroading. Now, thanks, Quincy, I appreciate it. And I get a lot of praise for doing those things. So I mean, that's something I'll miss doing. And this wasn't an easy decision. It didn't happen last night, by the way. That decision didn't happen last night. Last night was the tipping point for me. Run 8 is, as I was saying at one point, is it's an addiction, and I kept hanging on to this crutch, or the rail driver. Back in the winter, what ended up happening was I was losing a lot of the fun. But then I've found that there's a lot of fun things out there. But I was trying to do stuff that I didn't do with my son, so I use that as an excuse. Right now, the days are getting longer. When the weather is nice, I can go out for walks. I can split things up. There's a lot of things that I can do. Most of all, this will be the last time I go on YouTube until probably Sunday. Well, I'm glad. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. And you know, and that's. But that's one of the things. You know, I wanted, even just having a few people and making it cool for them is great. Like I said, anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. You don't have to run as much traffic. You can take my save files or whatever, host amongst yourself. I encourage that, and use Run 8 servers. Run 8 servers is a great service. And I was showing earlier, Tim, that you might have missed, was I was over on the Run 8 servers site, and the Southwest server, which is the former California Southwest server, is no longer listed on there. They may have gave up before me. They weren't looking too good. There was a forum post that Mike wanted to think things over or something like that, and he's no longer there. So they might be done. And this is a trend that is happening, as I was saying. But anyways, let's forget about the past. Let's forget about where Run 8 is. This is about going on with the future now. It's 10:52, so I don't want to be staying up too late, although we're coming up to a Friday, so I might push it. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. And it's great, you know, even if it's just half a dozen guys, it's great that I was able to do that. And hopefully, if I decide to change my mind down the road, you guys will remember. And the one thing I hate about quitting, and this is seriously, is when people are getting used to something or have faith in me and want to do something, and then taking them along for the ride, because a lot of times it's experimental. I did not test this out. I went right live into it. I didn't use a testing phase. I just went right into it. The only testing phase I did was I stayed in Los Angeles or Hobart Yard. I stayed in there on purpose to make sure that Hobart, because Hobart was basically the center of what I considered to be the major source of operations that had to be dealt with. And it was Hobart that actually made or break what was going on. But ultimately, it had a lot to do too with despite the fact I've had a few people, I think the trend is less and less people are into that, and that is a weakness. See, I'm going back to Run 8, unfortunately. But I'll get to that, and I'll apply it to this. Okay, I'll try to tie it into here. So not just random numbers, but keeps track of calling waybills. What I mean by that is it just doesn't pick a random number and have 5 values, and when a random number doesn't work right, it even work no matter what probability you set. It totally screws up a logistic system. Because now, it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to switch this, or you roll a dice. Here's a perfect analogy. You roll a dice, okay, and let's say it's a big dice, and you roll the dice, and or you spin a wheel, or I call it the bingo ball thing. Although a bingo ball wouldn't apply, because the bingo ball you would actually take out. So I don't know why I call it the bingo gumball thing, whatever. But a better analogy is like the Wheel of Fortune type thing, or maybe better yet, the roll of a dice. Now, unfortunately, that roll was never random, as I've already mentioned. It's not truly random because it's not seated properly. That's something I learned in my RTS coding, because I had the same issue. So I learned from that lesson. And I recognized it because I saw the trends happening in the RTS coding, and then I started seeding it much better and got much more random results towards the end. And like I said, for the record, I never quit RTS. Version 2 came along, RTS was no longer compatible. I decided not to improve it for version 2. Yes. Yeah. You'll have to watch the video later. I was having fun with a troll. But anyways, it ain't that important, Mike, honestly. It was more of comic relief for me. Anyways, so rolling the dice, let's assume it was random, and let's assume everything. The problem with that is, even if the random numbers work, just rolling a dice and saying, let's pick this train, or rolling a dice and saying, I'm going to apply this tag to this, and rolling another dice or whatever, that isn't keeping track of real supply and demand. So what RTS has always been about is logistics, shippers, receivers, etc. I'll say tracking, maybe. Well, I'll tell you something, Quincy. When you say about maybe if enough people got together, this is why I repeat, or as some people call it, whine, or constantly vent. And I do that because I have enough subscribers, I have enough views. Obviously, I have enough people watching that are Run 8 fanboys, or are basically doing their own thing, or belonging to other groups, and somehow subscribe to me, even though they're making bets on when I'm going to quit and fail and all this other garbage, which are just trolls. All they're doing is they're basically keeping up on what I'm doing. I've had groups before in the past who have spied on me, taken ideas from me. Now, don't get me wrong, I've used ideas as well. One thing that interesting tonight that I just found out before I came on is that I can no longer read Run 8 Depot. I find that kind of interesting. That happened. I can see the subjects, but I cannot get into the messages anymore. I'm not a member of Run 8 Depot. But Run 8 Depot. Oh, it's 11 o'clock. My screen just changed. Wow. Run 8 Depot. What time did I start? Okay, never mind. I had to think about what time I started at. I'm still thirsty. You know something? Who cares? Give me a bit. We'll go a little later. I'll just be right back. I'd go with the water, but I don't feel like wasting any more time. So, there's that attention of a 3-year-old again. Damn it. So that's an issue with my brain, actually. So I don't consider it a disability. It's just who I am. So, but yeah. So I found it interesting because what had happened was I quit Run 8 Depot a long time ago, and then Run 8 Depot became the official. Well, it was the official source of information, but then you have to have a Depot Plus membership to really be the official source. If you're just on the lower echelon, you really don't get the information. TrainSim's pretty good. Jason lets us know about a lot of things. He's the only one that really posts on there. I think Jim does a bit. Well, no, but RTS did it. RTS wouldn't be easy as putting a line of code. Wouldn't be as easy as putting a line of code that erases a symbol off the chalkboard for 24 hours. Actually, yeah, I've done them. I've done them in spreadsheets. I've done them in. They can do that. They are going to have a scheduling system at some point. They've already announced it. And when they do, the random number thing will not be as much of an issue. What will still be an issue, though, and this is where really it came down to me deciding that the more I push Run 8 to the limits, I found that the limits were pushing back at me. And yeah, they can easily do the update. The random number generator thing, and the random number generator is a seeding issue. All they have to do is properly do it. The problem is nobody knows, or at least nobody seems to be posting or reporting it. I can't go on Run 8 Depot. I've already been on TrainSim and posted it. So Jason should be well aware of it. I'm not too sure if I ever emailed John about it. Probably not. But so for that's why when things like that happen, especially last night, that's when I'll start mentioning it. But a few things happened last night. Now, keep in mind though, I was already on the way out. I was contemplating quitting before last night. So it wasn't all about last night. Last night made it much easier for me to quit. Really. Before that, I was having a hard time pulling the trigger. I was having a hard time saying, you know, I need to quit. I need to give up running the server. I need to start creating and do something, enjoy my summer, and get the hell off the computer. Get the hell off of YouTube for a while too, to be honest. Get the hell off of everything. But, you know, I don't mind doing this now because I think I owe you guys an explanation. I think I owe everybody an explanation. And I can do this right now. I'm much calmer than I was last night. I'm much calmer than I was at lunch today when I started seeing some of the reactions. And boy, I was fired up about that. And then I realized, you know, what stupidity it really is for a guy who has 3 subscribers or whatever. But so the code, they could do this. Here's the problem. Run 8 Depot does not push. They have their own internal system, even the plus or whatever. nobody pushes Run 8 as hard as myself or the former California server. By the way, I don't know if you heard this, Ski. Maybe maybe you know about this. The Southwest server. I'll just repeat what I was saying, just to recap. The Southwest server, which was the former RTS California server, is no longer on Run 8 servers. The Southeast server, their post has not updated since March, or not March. I forget when it was. Can't be March. Maybe it was March 17th. Was one of the last posts on there. Yeah, but I don't think they're embarrassed. Actually, I don't think they see it. I honestly don't think they see it. Yep. Yeah, so that's how I used to get onto the forum, was through Run 8 servers, because it was always a name that I couldn't remember, and I didn't have a bookmark, so, and I didn't go on very often. I was on not too long ago. I forget who was posting. Somebody was I don't know, maybe it was you, Ski, that were posting. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, trains blowing up, but what they got upset because I kept on mentioning it all the time, and it was harming the image of Run 8 or something. They don't like when people criticize their product, I guess. So. Oh, you ran on Mike's server tonight. Okay. That's a place you guys may want to go to, as a Southwest server, quite frankly. And yeah, so I know there was an email sent out. Well, I'm glad Mike is still that. Yeah, that's okay. No, not a big deal. I wouldn't worry about it. So I'm glad his server's still up. That's glad. I mean, I assume the worst. His forum hasn't been very busy, neither has the Southeast server, but I'm glad things are going on. Hopefully they're still having dispatchers and doing and progressing. If anybody can do it, those guys can. You know, Mike he's a pretty busy guy, but I'll play TSW until you come back. What the hell are you going to be playing TSW? I may never come back. That's torture enough. Come on. Anybody can do what I'm doing. And yeah, maybe Ski will put up a server now and then. Well, like I said, I got the save file. Anybody can have the save file. I'll run on somebody's server. You know, if it meets the right day, the right time, and I feel like doing something. See, the Otis isn't on me at that point, because now I can say, okay, well, it was just like Ski. What was it? A couple Mondays ago, all of a sudden he was running, you know, running a server, and he was running his server, and he asked if I wanted to come on. It was short notice, and I had nothing better to do on a Monday, so I said, sure, why not? So that was cool. Yeah, but Ski, Southwest, I mean, a lot of people. Scott, I mean, Scott's got a server. For me personally, and this is me, Scott is very open to let people do whatever they want on his server. So there's no restrictions. You run however you want, and that's the way he likes to do it. For me, it's too open because I don't have the, I don't know how you say, the direction. I like to have a direction. I like to have a set of rules, or I like to have a set of something. See, as soon as the car go by that window, boom. My problems were, hence I run on Mike's schedule. And that's why 24/7 is still popular amongst a lot of people. So well, go for it. Why not? I'd love to run somebody else dispatch, or I don't mind dispatching for somebody, once in a while or whatever. I mean, the rail driver's not going away. This just opens me up. It opens me up to the summer. It opens me up to get some exercise. It opens me up to clean some of the crap around here. I already started doing that lately. So I've made some progress. I found $150 of loose change lying around. Now that wasn't because I quit. That was something I had done, I think, on the weekend. Mike is pausing the clock. Yeah, and that's something that we did. I remember we used to do that too, back in the Southwest. And it's LA is a good place to have a pause clock because there's so many deep pockets to do things. And just because I like doing things a certain way doesn't mean people can do things differently and still have fun. Yeah. Yeah, and that's how we used to do California. And to be honest, I mean, there's been times where I was thinking about putting a 24/7 backup. I talked about it with my son, but we didn't want to give up the computer, and I wasn't going to buy another computer, and I wasn't going to buy another copy. So I didn't, and I don't regret that. I feel bad that Ski bought me the California, or the California, the LA version, and Quincy, Mike, or Ski, Quincy says it's your fault. No. He says and while you mentioned it, I'm not going to get you guys into trouble. I'm just joking around, but no. Ski was exactly what I needed, and so was LA, because it allowed me to realize that ultimately I was never going to be satisfied with the current product unless the changes are made down the road, which they may still be. So yeah, no, that's true too. No, I got some enjoyment, and it's still, yeah, it's still on my computer. I'm not taking it off. I'm not taking Run 8 off my computer. I'm not taking any of them off my computer. They're still there. I can join a server at any time. Hell, who's to say I can't host a server? I mean, if I want to, if I feel up to it, if I got nothing better to do. No, not if you want to run a local server. I only have one copy. If you want to do a 24/7 server and be a client to it, I highly recommend that you have a second copy. That's how I used to do version 1. So no, you don't have to do that. It's all good. Anybody with just one copy, and you don't have to have a really good internet connection. You don't have to have a really good computer. Just try it. Post on the forum. Post on Run 8 servers. Set up a server account. I wish more people would use Run 8 servers. I mean, it's a good service. It's sad to see that there's only 5 servers on, and I mean, for the longest time, I was the only one posting. You know, there's one coming up on May 4th that somebody's running. I encourage everybody, you know, who wants to check out some of these places, just check them out, see what they're like. And if it's not good, at least you know what there is. You'd be surprised how many people are creative and have ideas. You know, I'm not the mecca of ideas for Run 8. I mean, I think I push it more than anybody else. But what Ski's doing, Ski does something totally different, and he basically runs. He runs the hump. He sets up everything, and then he just runs a little bit at a time. And we were switching a few weeks back on his server, and yeah, it was just a test server, nothing public. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so the dedicated server, see, 24/7, the thing with 24/7, you don't want to run, say if you wanted to put a 24/7 server up, then other things that you run will severely limit it. So you do want a dedicated server if you go 24/7. If you're going to host a session like I do, you definitely do not need a second copy or another computer. You can run on what you got. It should be fine. Run 8 version 2 is much more stable than version 1. Version 1 still did it pretty good too, but yeah, things are fine. It will work fine. I have the save files, I have the configurations, I have the traffic. I can post them to a link. I'm not going to do it tonight, but yeah, I mean, it's there. I have no problems sharing. I have no problems helping people. I even have no problems showing people how something's done once in a while. I did that recently. I like helping people. Just because Run 8 didn't meet my full expectations down the road doesn't mean, you know, it's the end of the world. It's not. I mean, this is why I'm looking at, one, enjoying the summer. First and foremost, you get a little bit more off the computer, get a little bit more off YouTube. Then number 2, building something that I can call totally my own. I mean, think about it. You look at Run 8, and you look at I'll see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it, but so Run 8 Studios is, I don't know what the community is set at these days. And you know, whatever, it is what it is. Yeah, I've seen it bigger here, but let me see if can I do overview? I don't know where it is. No, that's overview, never mind. About us. This might do it. Okay, here, this is the interesting thing. And this is the team. Not much changes has happened, and not much changes of anything has happened to this site. But most of you may know us from our past work programs, blah blah blah, Kuju Entertainment, Rail Sims, blah blah blah. Of course, maybe add-ons, 17 years of 3D strengths up in times of developer expansion software, someone else's platform. See, and over that time as a developer of expansion software for someone else's platform, we have been at the mercy of other people's decisions. You see what I feel like? And views of what a train simulator program should actually be, and quite frankly, we have been disappointed more times than not. Now, for the most part, I'm not disappointed with Run 8. I'm actually very impressed with Run 8. When it comes to the overall goal of what I want in a train simulator, yes, it doesn't meet my expectations in the final goal, and that is car forwarding. I lost. So see, this is what they did in blah blah blah. Beautiful thing about developing your own train simulator platform is that you can do whatever you want with it, which is a very good thing, especially if you love railroading like we do, and they do. But they do their own thing. So that right there, I love it that they keep that on there. The thing that drove me over the edge, and like I said before, I was already on the way out. It was already something I was thinking of. If you guys saw the video that I did on Sunday night, I hadn't even announced the session. Sorry, Sunday night or Thursday. I don't know which one it was. It was the one where I actually made the changes in the Long Beach line coming up, and I changed it from one side to the other. And I was already ranting. I was already feeling like, this isn't what I really wanted to do. And I was starting to feel that, things weren't happening the way I thought they were. And the only way to find out was to test things out and run it. And originally it was like Hobart was Hobart, and I was kind of behind the 8 ball with Hobart, but then traffic started slowing down to Los Angeles. And yet what threw me over the edge, though, was when I started seeing how it was tagging industries. In the past, I never could care less how they tagged industries. But then I realized, and it was very simple, I should have realized it from the beginning, but I was so dependent on how they tagged things, and thought to myself, well, yeah, they're just going to tag it like, every now and then they'll pick this one, every time then they'll pick this, every time, another time they'll pick this. And then I saw throughout the course of the night that stuff was starting to tag, and suddenly I had 2 trains of something that I've already sent 1 train out of. I had other cars that were sitting. Now I can go in and I can retag and do whatever I want if I chose to. That was not the point. I didn't want to go in there and tag. Ski was doing that actually on his. He was going in and just tagging it. And I could have done that. I could have actually said screw the tags and just put whatever I want. I could have even gone so far as, I don't think there's a random weight value. I think you have to manually set it. My other pet peeve with version 2 as opposed to version 1 is that they have the weights and it's fully loaded. That irks the heck out of me, especially intermodals, because back in version 1 of RTS, I assigned random loads to a range of certain car types. So boxcars would get or I think I did. Don't quote me on that one. Ski probably remembers the code more than I do. But I certainly wanted to, and I think I used random loads when I was tagging industries all the time. I would always randomly load something. But I think it was like mid-range or something. It wasn't fully loaded. Intermodal cars are not fully loaded to capacity. They may be fully loaded to dimensional capacity, but they are certainly not fully loaded to weight capacity. And the other thing you don't see a lot of is DPUs on intermodal trains in California. You see 10,000-foot trains sometimes that might have them, and I've seen DPUs in Canada, as I was saying the other night, but you don't see that much DPUs on those trains. Yeah, they were random load weights. I thought so. And that made a big difference because the trains felt more... it's random, but it wasn't so much that I was worried about what the cars were containing or whatever. I just wanted the train to feel as real as it gets. That yard was more challenging because of the fully loaded cars, because then it required DPUs, it required more power, which meant that I had to bring the power down back and forth between Commerce. I had to do different things that was taking me away from dispatching. I guess I missed signals somewhere. Oh, really? Okay. But did they run 4 and 1s? Now, mind you, I think the HPT values are probably a lot higher than what I was running. I was trying to go for 3s. I was trying to go for 3.0 HPT as a metric, which was probably pretty low for Cajon when I think about it, but that was kind of what I was going for. Just because I didn't want to deal anymore. I basically, I was the lowest I wanted to go was 3.0 to all, not all, but most do. Yeah, that's interesting. I would say that the likely scenario there is the HPT values are probably much higher than in that case. So they're probably definitely using DPUs. But besides that, I'm okay with that. The thing with me that was the toughest was the actual tags. Like I said, I could have manually changed it or manually done things myself. It would just be an added thing that I'd have to do. I could have gone to some schedule system out of the intermodal yard. There was a lot of things that I could have done when I thought it, but see, everything is band-aids. I I could have spawned trains myself, and I could have done all kinds of different things if it was that important to me. But I was already doing quite a bit already, just to try to keep that single player mentality alive, despite the fact that I'd have lowest number of people would be 2 people on. Let's say in a night I could get as many as 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we had 4 on at one point. But it's that to keep that lowest number and to make sure that I can run it if people were sick or went on vacation or had something else to do or works a certain night and doesn't. It allowed me to reassure myself that I could do it. At extra locomotives. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But that's interesting. I didn't realize that. I've seen some, but I thought that was the exception, not the rule. But even in Canada, they do run DPUs, but they run like 111 or 1 on the front and 1 in the middle. They do a lot of weird stuff and that's just across mostly flat areas of Canada. So yeah, but seeing that was the game breaker for me, and that was when I realized. And getting back to the whole random number generator thing, if I can, for a moment here, and I really do want to move forward, but I just want to make sure I've explained myself on this one. The random number generator is not seen by others because Depot Plus isn't doing it. Run 8 Depot is not doing it. They're not running full train schedules. They're spawning in their own stuff. They're doing all kinds of different things. Nobody else is seeing it, not even the developers. I don't think the developers are even seeing it, because if the developers saw it, perhaps they would make the effort to do it. I don't think the developers saw it, because the developers had the industries, but I don't think they were operating it over an extensive period of time. This is something that only was evident after several hours of running multiple sessions. So we were already over a day, and you could see the yard was starting to build up with certain types of cars, whereas others wouldn't. That from an operation standpoint should be a warning sign right there to say, hey, you're tagging cars for trains that, you're not going to send an intermodal train out for a 10-car train just because it's scheduled to run on that day. What happens is you have supply and demand, and over the course of time, supply and demand may dwindle, but it generally stays within a range, that supply and demand. what ends up happening over time, if the trend heads a certain direction, that's when they will add trains or they will eliminate them, because it's not like shoppers at a mall that suddenly. I mean, intermodal is a little different because it has a lot to do with the economy and all kinds of different things, but so does all the railroading, and so does all shopping. But with railroads, you're dealing business to business for the most part. So containers has some commercial goods, but it also has a lot of business to business goods. We ship some of the stuff that we ship where I work, commercial is business to business, and sometimes it will go on rail. Not always. They actually avoid rail. It's kind of funny. We try to avoid rail because you actually lose control of the timing of the train, because containers just build up in the yards and they get to it whenever they feel like it, type thing. It's really weird considering how high capacity it is, or high priority it is. It's kind of strange, but a lot of the trucking lines, that happens to them. So that's why I continue to stress it, or we're continuing to mention it. But now that that's out of the way, I only use that now as a reference for moving forward. Will they fix it? That's up to them. I can't post. I posted at TrainSim about it. I'm sure Jason, lava outbursts in Hawaii. Ooh. I've posted about it on TrainSim. Jason has seen it. So if it was that important to them, I have no idea. I can't speak for them. I don't know if they know about it as an issue. The problem is they're not on all the forums, or at least they're not on all the information. Like, has anybody seen anybody ever mention anything about the random numbers? I doubt it. I'm probably the only one that believes it's an issue. But yet, people here, I saw a few tonight, was talking about, yeah, they see repeat symbols all the time. But a lot of people don't really care about it that much. They just look at it and say, oh, okay, well, it's a random symbol. Or, oh, okay, it is that. For what I was doing by keeping the control in Run 8's hands, as opposed to having RTS control it through our own software, we lost that control when version 2 came along, because the biggest thing that I wanted to see, not so much the schedule system, but I wanted to see the ability, and I always envisioned this was going to happen with AI, and it never really came about, is an RTS generated train would feed the AI system. Instead, what you have is, yeah, you can spawn a train and you can AI it, but what you end up having to do is you have to manually go in after every train, and you have to select it and AI it manually. You have to do it. You do that in a territory like I had set up, with an average of 10 minutes, minimum of 2, maximum 20. How are you going to get anything else done when you're constantly... I mean, you can save the locations, you can do the shift 1, shift 2, shift 3 on all the various spawn points. That might save you a little bit of time, but the thing is, you have to relinquish whatever else it is that you're doing every time a train spawns to go in, AI that train if you spawn it, and then go back and do whatever you're doing. It's pretty ludicrous. What I was hoping was going to happen was that the spawning system was somehow going to be integrated with the AI, so that you would either have the option of using a pre-built train if it called it, or the schedule calls it, or it would go ahead and build one for you. That was what I was hoping for, because if that was the case, whether Ski likes coding or not, because I don't like coding or not, I would still code it. If Ski wasn't going to do it, I would have done it then. I would have gone back to coding it. And we would have done, version 2 would have been in, despite all the new security features of version 2, we would have done it. We would have put it in. But it remains to be seen if that ever happens. I don't know what's going to happen with Run 8 version 3. Quite frankly, I don't care. And that's the truth. It's no hard feelings. It's water under the bridge. I've spent too much time worrying about what Run 8 is going to do next. I've basically let my fate lie in somebody else's hands. And I think some people, even Ski, might have mentioned it to me. I'm not too sure who else, but it's just like, well, why don't you just do it? Why don't you just do something in spite of what Run 8's doing? Somebody mentioned that to me once. And it certainly, yeah, it was something that I did certainly think about at the time, but Run 8 was my, it was like my little blanket that I'm wearing here. It gets a little cool down here. It's kind of weird temperatures. Anyways, I won't get into that. I like it cool, actually. But, yeah, Run 8 and that rail driver, it was my security blanket. And this was the time, if I was ever going to quit Run 8, or at least put it to the side, and I'm not talking about taking a break, but saying, no, I'm not going to do any more servers, I'm going to let it go, this was the time to do it. Because now the good weather is here. I've got plenty of things to keep me occupied if I'm bored. I've got plenty of places to go. Nice weather coming up. Lots of time on weekends with my son doing different things. I don't have to worry about those things. Those things are not an issue. If this was the winter, like I tried the first time, it would be tough. Yeah, I gotta go to work tomorrow soon. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna push this very much further myself. I don't know who else is here anyways. I think everybody else has fallen asleep. I probably bored them to death, as somebody else was saying. Oh, Tim's still here. But, so RTS is the logistics, the shippers, the receivers, etc. What I plan on doing, first and foremost, is developing a data driven terminal simulation. Now, what I mean by that is I'm not sure exactly where that's going to develop. Obviously, I'm going to be using Unity. One of the big things is to make sure that the screenshots, yeah, don't blame me, guys. I'm going to bed soon myself. But the reason why I do the data-driven terminal simulation is what that allows me to do is not worry about graphics so much. I don't have to worry about developing art or anything like that, and sound. Well, sound can be minimal. The idea behind it is I have the software, the RTS software, which I know works because we've done it before for Run 8. We can do it for anything. It's just a waybill caller. It's like a model railroad waybill program. It just calls waybills. The waybills have the shipper and the receiver. It chooses everything, and the trains come into play. So you develop develop a data-driven terminal simulation. From there, you have the terminal simulation that is monitoring the yard. It's basically the yard office. You're in the yard office, and you have the data tags. Kind of looks like an air traffic control thing, but it's almost like a dispatcher display. but it actually shows you the car numbers. I haven't really seen one, but I've seen screenshots of them before. I mean, the other thing, there's a few of them. There's actually a CTC machine I would like to do as well, as opposed to the display. I want to actually do a CTC machine, and that's something I've been thinking about doing as well, because everybody's talking about, well, you know, it would be great if TD3 had a new version and something like that. To me, what would be great is having a CTC machine. I would love to do that. I've seen the manual throw bars or whatever. Now, you know, so you look at a CTC machine, and what the CTC machine is a union switch and signal. So union switch and signal, if you've ever seen a CTC machine, it's basically you got the green light on both sides, the red and the green and the red, and then you have the schematic up top. All you have is the white lights. And some of the other applications you have, I've seen some European ones. There's a Canadian outfit that does the European simulators. I've never seen one for North America. I've never seen a CTC machine. But here's why the CTC machine. Well, I'll mention that, and there's a few different things, and that is AI dispatching, AI switching. So these are the things that I wanted to eventually see in Run 8. The AI dispatching, I pretty much have a design on. I know how I want it to work. It's not rocket science. It's something that wouldn't take me too much. And even if it wasn't perfect, at least it would get the ball rolling. It would get the trains to roll. I can guarantee you it's better than fleeting signals. It would actually do something with the traffic and try to deal with meets. Double track's a little tricky to utilize. Double track, it's a little bit more complex, but single track territories are actually easier because you're dealing with less variables. So single track territories are much easier to AI dispatch than a double track territory. And I have no problem dealing with a much less busier line, busy enough to have a single track main line, but not as busy to have a double track main line. And personally, I've always wanted to deal more with a smaller world anyways, hence my desire to see something in Run 8 in an environment that wasn't so popular or full of traffic. I think the closest one that well, actually California doesn't really fit the bill, but Florida's not too bad, although it's pretty traffic driven once you get to the funnel. And the Northeast is actually has too much capacity. Northeast double track, it used to be a 4-track main line, it has way too much capacity. So those are the things I look at. I look at the, you know, and yeah, I wanted to do Fostoria and F-Tower, just a small area, because then with a small area, at least you can run all the traffic, but don't expand it too far. Just have a little area, but then, you know, it kind of gets boring probably for you guys to just run a train for an hour anyways, and then have to pick another one. I don't know. Maybe I never ran LA, so I don't know. So AI dispatching is the one thing. AI switching was actually, it's not something that I've only thought of. There's actually somebody on Train Sim that was looking for it. And some people are like, no, you can't do that. Well, why can't you? You just put the option. If you don't want it, you put the option off. So, and this is, as again, run 8's in the back mirror now. I don't care what run 8 does. If they do it, they do. If they don't, they don't. I don't care. I'm moving forward and making this happen. I don't want to do AI dispatching for the sake of proving that I can do it. That ain't the point. Making something or proving something that I can do isn't going to be gratifying because I know I can do it. I don't need to prove it to anybody. If I fail, I fail. Apparently I fail all the time. So some people say, whoopee-doo. The whole thing about the AI dispatching is being part of the RTS system, because this is going to develop further. So you have your AI dispatching. That means trains can move. They can move on their own with or without a person there. The AI switching is another aspect that allows things to move with or without a person regardless. One idea is when you look at freight yard manager and yard duty. A freight yard manager / yard duty, which are two different programs. Where I call Run 8 the greatest train simulator out there, or the best train simulator on the planet. Freight yard manager and yard duty is the best railroad simulator on the planet. Those are the two I put to high regard. Everything else is either eye candy, good editors, I don't know what else you want to call it, good packages. They can't beat Run 8 in physics. They can't. They can beat them in eye candy and sound and immersion. Maybe, I don't know. I find I'm just as immersed in Run 8 than anything else. But then again, I haven't played the other eye candy simulators. You know, Quincy would have to tell me about the how immersive train sim world is. Maybe it is. I don't know. I think running the same activities over and over again would be kind of boring. But anyways, that's just me. Kind of felt the same way with the Microsoft Train Simulator. But so the AI switching takes it to another level, because then you can run whatever operations you want and continue to have it. Now keep in mind, none of this is a 3D simulator. None of it. This is all based on data. It's all based on control. It allows. So those are the AI roles. What's the player roles? You're probably thinking. So the player roles include dispatchers, yardmasters, crews. 2D, perhaps. I'll put question marks in there. The main focus would be the dispatchers and the yardmasters. So we already have the best train simulator on the planet, and I have no intention on trying to compete with that. There are other train simulators being developed. What I want to be able to do is have the dispatchers and the yardmasters covered, but not just so multiplayer. Unity makes it easy. Well, there's one good reason why I can go with Unity, but what's the other thing that I'm looking at? An expansive network that connects with others and can run 24/7. With little or no human interaction, if necessary. So, Freight Yard Manager for, and I'm going to end this before midnight, so it's 11:48 right now. Freight Yard Manager has a yard duty, has what they have screens, I think it is, or maps they call them. They have yard maps, they have industry maps. And what happens there is you basically have yard masters, and you have crews with various industries or whatever. What this does is it allows you to become a yard master. They have it's a network system where they send trains to each other. They're not really connected by real-time rail, but they send trains from one connecting location to another. There's a map curator that basically is responsible for approving or suggesting modifications to maps if people want to develop maps. I'm still at work. But so what basically happens is the network is a demand-driven system. It is available 24/7, but it's not real time. So you can come on, if you say you're a yard master. I used to be a yard master at Toronto Mac Yard, which is a big hump yard. They do have working humps in Freight Yard Manager. I should put that. Working player and AI humping. So working player, AI humping, trims and builds. So everything is going to be designed to allow a system to continue to proceed. Oh, I see. That I was wondering what that part was. I'm still at work. But so the whole system is designed so that you can be a dispatcher, or you can be a yard master at whatever is available in the network. You can be, perhaps there would be a hierarchy or a user system or something, or perhaps there would be alternate universes or alternate servers that could have real world trains. It could have fictitious trains. It could have different eras. There's all kinds of things. There'll be plenty of options. So not dependent on popularity or user volume. That's Run 8's flaw right there. That's also Freight Yard Manager's flaw. The two programs that I've cited as both the best train simulator and best railroad simulator has the same flaw: popularity and user volume. In order to be relevant and continue to operate a hump in Freight Yard Manager, you have to be willing to put a lot of time in. And then you wait your turn, you wait for something available, and then you become the yard master when somebody gives it up. You own that yard. You are the one who's responsible for doing it for weeks, months, possibly years, if you really want to hang on to it. A lot of people have more than one yard or several yards, industries, that they are quote-unquote the yard master. You can be a yard master of an industry. So in other words, you control all the trains that go through it. All the trains are controlled manually by you, so you can switch them. Physics aren't really there, etc. So but like I said, if you don't have much time, like, you know, Bill's at work, he doesn't have too much time, but he wants to run a little bit, but he likes running a hump, like say Toronto Mac, just like I used to when I suddenly was busy and didn't have enough time to, you know, I had girlfriends or whatever the hell it was, but something kept me really busy, and I didn't have as much free time as I did at one point. I had to give up Toronto Mac because I couldn't handle the demand. Because again, it's a demand-based system. So you not only would you have to worry about it because other people would control the system or would be able to step in, but even when people can't step in, AI can step in. So you might have a popular yard, you might have a popular industry area or industry section or whatever the hell you call it, switching district, I guess is the word I'm thinking, or a dispatching desk if you like dispatching. I like doing both actually. So this is right up my alley. I love dispatching, I love yard mastering. Unfortunately, if you like running trains, like I said, I don't know if it would be a 2D type thing, and you know I can somehow get it. But see that's long term for me. As much as I would love to do a 3D simulator, since people are developing 3D simulators, I would love to interface with them. Who knows? Maybe one day Run 8 will take a look at me and maybe they'll pay attention. Maybe I can show them something and they can interface with me. Why not? I mean, one can dream. I don't expect it, but then there's other simulators. There's a guy that's developing right now on Train Sim, and you know, he seems somewhat interested, but like I said, I'm willing to work with others. I'm willing to do win-wins and filling in. I wanted to do it with Freight Yard Manager. Actually, with Freight Yard Manager, I proposed them to do Microsoft Train Simulator at the time, or something, but he was totally against having anything interface with Freight Yard Manager. So be it. That was, you know, I guess some programmers don't want to interface or, you know, share their baby with others, or try to share with other systems, or rely on other systems, or interact with other systems, but all of those things are possible. So everything you see there, whether it be the CTC machine of Union Switch and Signal with an automatic train sheet that tells you what the trains are, so you got to figure out what those little lights are. I remember somebody making the smart ass comment about me writing on a sheet of paper where the trains are and all that stuff. Yeah, you can do that. I don't really have an area here other than a little area right by my camera where the that camera right now is sitting on the Run 8 depot sheets for the yard in LA. It's still there. I haven't put it away, but it's still there. So those things are all you know, possible. I don't see where I'm challenged to do any of that. Most of that is logic driven. Most of that is simple problem solving. I love doing problem solving. I love doing challenges. All of that is 100% feasible. I don't feel threatened. I don't feel inadequate. I don't feel like, yeah, I mean, I'll have to learn a little bit about Unity. But worst case scenario, I could probably do it in Just Basic if necessary. If I wanted to do some test coding in Unity, or sorry, in Just Basic first, I could probably do that while I'm learning Unity, because all of it's logic driven. And in the end, I will show that AI dispatching can work. I will show that AI switching is possible. And even if it's not 100% as efficient as a human, as long as the trains are moving and things get delayed a little bit, the humans will eventually be able to step in, because humans can delay things too. But a lot of the humans will be able to, especially the ones that are really good at dispatching or yardmaster, will be able to get caught up. And it kind of is real world, because everybody's different. Everybody dispatches different. Everybody runs a yard differently. So right then and there, I mean, there's a lot of ways. I remember at Model Railroads, the Model Railroad Club I used to be at, there used to be always somebody trying to tell me how to switch better, you know. But you know, that's just one of the things. So, anyways, guys, it's almost midnight here in the east. That screen's going to change any minute. I'll save this here. I'll save this here as save as. And I'll call this, what do we want to call this here? I'll call this the RTS blueprint. Sorry, I got my hands full. Got one. Usually I'm typing, but there we go. I'll find that. That way I have it there. I already have this pretty much in my head, but that's how things are going to go. So, well, the thing about train sim, the thing about TSWAI is it's scripted, I believe. But perhaps Quincy can verify, or you, Tim. Yeah, that, as far as I know, that's all scripted. So what you're playing is you're playing pre-done activities. If there is some randomness in there, like where things change, from what I understand, everything is preset activities. In fact, I don't think you can even create your own activities, which is really strange. I understand why there's not a world editor because of Unreal 4, but from what I understand, there's not even an activity editor. I never purchased Train Sim World. Oh yeah, and there, that's what I mean. So it's heavily scripted, and the scripting is better than what Microsoft Train Simulator had. Far better, I'm sure, because Microsoft Train Simulator scripting, and their editors, you know, their activity editor to create an editor, and once you created the editor script, it was and other programs have scripts too. I think Trains has it. The other ones have them too, but yeah, it's not. Even Microsoft Train Simulator had like they had passing paths and they had different ways of handling meets, but it wasn't. It actually caused more issues. It wasn't dynamic. So it had the ability to adapt to how fast a player train was going, but it didn't know what to do in some cases. I don't know how Train Sim World works with the dynamics. It might work much better, actually. I haven't, like I said, it's one of those things that I really haven't got into, and honestly, I'm not interested in it. Run 8 has always been on top of things more than Train Sim World, so. But it's one of those things, you know. So hopefully this, you know, I'm sure I'll still be dealing with, I'm sure, you know, I'm sure there's still going to be the trolls and all that, and that'll die off after a while. I'll just get bored of trying to fend them off or whatever. They say don't feed the trolls. I had fun playing around tonight, so I don't care. So it's not bad for a break. So, but you know. That kind of thing is whatever. You know, if he's from another group or whatever, and he's reporting to his minions, or I don't know. I have no idea what the hell he's doing, but I'm not worried about it. I found him to be snarky for some time, so it's not a big deal. I think he was goading me into doing stuff with UP too, if I recall, or something, but And I'm glad you like Run 8, and hopefully somebody will be able to continue. That's okay. No, that sounds like you're excited. But and people have a, you know, if that was excitement, it was, I don't blame people to be excited about Run 8. It's kept me busy for 6 years. My rail driver's still here. Maybe I'll do a impromptu session from time to time, or, you know, if I feel the need or whatever, but I don't know how I would do that. I'd have to go back in and put RTS in and all that other stuff, but for now, I have no plans for that. I don't have any plans for hosting in the intermediate future. I'd rather see somebody else take the bull by the horns and do something, and maybe I'll join them. I guess Southwest is still running. I might join those guys every now and then. I'd recommend you guys check out the Southwest server, because the Southwest server ran very similar to what we did. So go check out the Southwest server. Unfortunately, they're not. Check with Ski. Maybe he'll post a link to the forum again. Ask Ski, like, post a message on the forum asking about Southwest server, and I'm sure somebody will point you in the right direction where they're at. I'd be curious too. I forget what the hell their name is now. He posted earlier. It's in the chat somewhere. But you know, you could check out the Southwest server, and you should get all the stuff, including LA. Their forum, like I said, their forum has not that been busy the last I checked, but maybe they're getting busier again. Ski was on running the server tonight, so I'm glad they're still running. I'm glad things are going okay. I was afraid that they had bit the biscuit because they weren't on Run 8 servers, but anyways, it's getting late here, so it's 12:06. So I'm gonna call it the night. Have a good one, guys, and yeah, nothing gonna happen till at least Sunday, and I don't know what else to really do too much more live streaming about, except you know, there's stuff that I'm gonna have to learn, and perhaps I'll do some videos and show you guys what I'm doing behind the scenes and some of the things I'm developing, and we'll take it from there, and yeah, I'll keep you guys. Unlike other places who don't really like to share too much, I don't mind sharing what I'm doing, because it's one thing to have an idea, but it's another thing to execute it. So I plan on executing. I mean, this has been a crutch for way too long, and I'm glad to get rid of it. No offense to Run 8, but it's just been too much of a crutch, and I need to let go. So, you know, like I said, I was on my way out anyway, so it didn't matter. All right, guys, have a good one, and yeah, maybe we'll see you Sunday. We'll see what's going on, see how it goes from there, and have a good weekend. See ya.